Hello, and welcome to Mind Your Head, a space for people to share their stories, talk openly and honestly about their own mental health challenges, and to give some listeners some comfort in knowing you're not alone. This episode is brought to you by TLC Recovery Centre on the Sunshine Coast. Head to TLC Sunshine Coast, use the code TLC15MYH to receive 15% off and experience it for yourself. James, welcome to Mind Your Head, mate. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on today. Like I said before, I've sort of followed your journey, and I've had a few mutual friends reach out to me and talk to me about you and how you'd be a perfect person to get on the podcast. And I love what you're doing. I'm actually like even the just chat we had then, I'm in awe of what you've achieved in your short amount of time. Just the mindset and the mindset around how you push your body, you know, physically, absolutely, but also mentally, like some of the dark places you get into. Do you thrive in those situations?
I definitely think you have to. You know, it's evolved over time. Over time for sure. I think when I was younger, a lot of the advice that I was given from people that had been there, done that, I took to heart. So, you know, my coaches in early days, my parents, you know, mum and dad, they used to say, oh, you know, the best time of your life will be your high school time. And you'd always look back on that and fond memories. And so I was like, okay, take that to heart and keep it in mind and just know that this is a good time, because you kind of live in the days that you reminisce about today. And that's what it's always like.
No responsibilities.
Yeah, no responsibility. Yeah. You can
go around to your mate's place, have a sleepover Friday night.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you put it into, you know, going to a dark place during a competition. It's just like, what care or worry do I have whilst I'm doing that? Nothing. You're in the zone, you're in the element, like you're in your element, and nothing distracts you. Whereas these days, getting into a dark place, I start thinking about emails, I start thinking about business, I start thinking about the dog, I start thinking about everything that could possibly distract you, I start thinking about. And it's a good journey for me, because I get to figure out ways to dull that inner voice that's like, whatever you're doing, you should stop, because you need to do something else, especially when it's getting really bad and especially hurting really bad. So yeah, there have been some times where, you know, I've done some tough competitions and hard races and things that are kind of grueling, but it's like you said before, it's about the experience. It's about sharing the experience with other people. Much prefer to do it in a group that's all going through this thing that you can share at the end. So some of my best days ever are ones where we've gone and done a hard competition with a group of people all doing something hard together.
It's that thing about like community, that it's more than just, I guess community would have a totally different meaning to you, because it wouldn't just be the people that you compete against. They're the people that sort of almost uplift you and help you get to that standard. And without them, with all the success that you have had, you probably wouldn't have got there without the community behind you and competing alongside you.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
Not a chance. Everything has stemmed from doing stuff with people, building a community around you and having a support base. It's like, you know, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's something that I've always gravitated towards, is doing something as a group, doing something as a team. And then again, you mentioned this earlier, doing stuff with people that are way fitter than you. And I try and surround myself with people that I have to chase and that make me work hard and keep me honest.
Can you find people out there?
I do. I have a group of people that I rely on to keep me honest. And sometimes it's in a particular modality, you know, whether it's running, there are plenty of better runners than me, and sometimes it's in lifting, and sometimes it's in just mindset. It could be just someone who just really enjoys a hard workout and has, and you know, it's almost like that dog mentality where you could wake your puppy up at midnight and say, you want to go for a walk, and pumped as, and you know, I've got a guy that if I said, hey man, you want to go do 15K run at 3 a.m, he'd be like, yeah, sounds good.
I've got a mate too like that. Shout out Benny, because he's into high rocks and CrossFit and that sort of thing. And I swear because we go to his house and he's got a little home gym set up, and I swear he programs these workouts that aren't possible to complete. And I'm like, Benny, we can't do this in this time limit you've given us. He goes, who cares? And I'm like, what do you mean who cares? He's like, let's just fucking find out.
Yeah.
Like he just wants to, like, every session that we do, he wants to find a breaking point.
Yep.
Like that's the goal. Like I don't care like if we go over it or whatever it is, let's just find our breaking point.
Yep.
And like we all do it, but all of us, like the group of us that go there, we all look at each other and we're like, you ready for it? And we're like, I don't know if we're ready for it. And Benny's just like, come on boys, let's get there.
And you need one of them in every group. Man. You need it because it makes you take a step back and think, oh, what I didn't think was possible. At the moment I'm doing this block of running. Oh my goodness, it's tough. And Dino's programmed it and he's keeping us very fucking honest. He's like, hey, we're doing this progression, and essentially his programming's fantastic. We're doing this running progression as well as a wall ball progression, and we do the tough running on a Tuesday, Thursday, we do the hard wall ball on a Friday, and every week it's just a little bit more grueling than the week prior. Slightly faster paces. We go through it at a particular pace. We finish a month block. We go back to the start. We increase pace. We do it again. We do it again. We do it again. Rinse and repeat. And the paces we started on were nothing like last season. Nothing like it. And I was like, oh man, are we going to be able to do this? He's like, we'll be fine. And we're hanging on. We're by a thread, but we're hanging on.
But he's so confident too. Like he can just see ahead and be like, boys, we can do it. We can do this.
Yeah, and he's pushed us. He's pushed us a lot. So I definitely have people I can rely on, especially these days. Like I just turned 35 last week, so I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and it's always good to see the young blood coming through and what they're able to do, and that kind of fires you up and kind of brings you back a couple of times. Like I've had this, I've essentially retired a million times, and every now and again I just find myself back on the competition floor and having a blast. And to be honest, if I spent 6 months, having a real hard dig, but I had no other worries or no other distractions, like I would be better than what I was in 2019, say at peak fitness.
Do you reckon?
I definitely think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it hard to know that and not want to go test it out?
Yeah, it is.
Like the what if type thing?
It is. But what I've found is, again, along the journey, I've found other things that fire me up just as much as hitting the PBs. And I found a ton of that in chilling. I found a ton of that in business. I found a ton of that in, where we live. Like just the other things in life that I had to put on complete hold, all the other sacrifices, the nights out, like I completely put that on the back burner. And I was good and ready. I was good and ready at the time last year when we competed at the CrossFit Games. Once that was done, I was like, I do not need to touch this again. I don't have to CrossFit another day in my life. And
nothing to prove to yourself.
No. And whilst I will do some workouts, just for other elements of training, it's good. It's good for the mind. It's good for the body. It's also good for the races that we've got coming up. Like it does all go towards the greater good, but it doesn't fire me up to go and slog 7 hours in the gym every day.
You've done it. You know what it feels like.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, we've done that a lot. So and then, I get major kicks out of working. Like I love the work that I do.
So is that the secret? Like I know a lot of professional athletes, when they sort of retire from their sport, I've heard a lot of them try to like emulate that high, where there's the adrenaline of, competing against someone or, pushing yourself to the limit. A lot of them sort of try to emulate that high and try to find it in other things. And you can find it really hard, difficult to find that high. And like what you're going on about there is finding a different high in a different thing that's going to, fill your cup. You don't have to always the spotlight or compete against someone. Like you said, you can find it in business. You can find it in, peace in yourself, sitting at home, relaxing. You can find it in relationships. You can find it in, other things in your life. They still give you that same feeling.
Yeah. And I feel like for a lot of people that excel in sport or in business, they're quite hard on themselves. But they see everything as a project.
Yeah, it's all high achievers.
Yeah, everything is a project. Everything is turning something from this into this, and the excitement that I can gain along the way in that journey, the excitement that it gives you is what they're chasing. It's I used to tinker around with old cars back in the day, and I loved getting these beat up old cars and turning them into something really cool at the end. I loved that project, that transition from shit to great. And everything is like that. Business is like shit to great. And then you're training, like when you take 6 months off and you don't do much and you go shit to great. And you're just like, wow, that was a cool, exciting, and it's the unknown. It's like, can I get it from there to there? Can it happen? And when it starts to happen, that's the thrill. Like you wake up buzzing out of bed every day to be like, I got to get after this.
I love that because it's not destination driven. You're that journey or that process driven. It's not about sort of getting the shortcut. You want to be at the finish line already or the outcome. You love that process. You love that grind of like, I got 6 months ahead or a year ahead or wherever long I've got. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to be a better person mentally, physically, spiritually afterwards.
Yep. And I think it's about holding yourself to a high standard of routine. All the things that you do, that methodical, step-by-step process of getting from one place to another. I think that's what builds good character. That's what helps you succeed. And then having that really strong mindset that delayed gratification is real and it will come, but who's prepared to hold on the longest?
Exactly.
Dean and I were saying this morning.
Yeah, I had a chat to a mate about this the other day.
Yeah, you got to hold on. The person who does not give up, and you just have no quit in you, and you just hang in there and you keep making progress, and you keep chipping away, you'll succeed.
Yeah, we went into this. I had lunch with one of my best mates yesterday, and his life in, say, 24 months has changed dramatically ever since just for example, he gave up drinking alcohol. Trying for a kid, sort of wanted to get a little bit fitter, wanted to get healthier, was playing footy with me, but sort of went off the rails a little bit and sort of lost a little bit of respect for himself, that discipline, and just wanted to get back to it. And he said, in 2 years, the doors that have opened for him and the opportunities that he's had by simply not drinking. So the ripple effect of not drinking. You're going to bed early. You're waking up. You're doing a run club. You're meeting people that are also doing the run club. You're meeting a girl that you do that as well. The lifestyles are the same, and all this ripple effect just changed his whole life. And now he's got a kid.
Yeah,
and it's just like he goes, I don't want to put it all down to not drinking, but that one action had this huge, massive ripple effect in his whole life that changed so many habits, so many lifestyles. And now he's in a different environment, a different stage of his life. And he's like, and he loves himself. He has way more respect for himself. Like by that one decision to not drink, that also in that decision, it was like, I'm putting in boundaries in terms of, I'm saying no to things. Boys want to get out and get on it. He's like, nah, I want to I want 8 hours. I want to get up in the morning and go for a run. Like all those little things that don't, that seem like little things, they all add up over time. And you can see now he's so much more resilient and so sure of himself, and he doesn't really have to, you can see he doesn't need to like go out and, people please or get that external validation. He's so secure in who he is and loves who he is and loves the life that he's created, that he's just like,
that's the high he needs.
That's the high he needs.
Yeah.
And he loves it. Like,
and it's self-respect as well. It's like every time that you change your plans to make someone else feel good, it takes, and you're doing something that's against what's within you or what you wanted or what you're striving for. It's a sign of disrespect to yourself, and that builds up over time. And I think if people could hold themselves accountable to sticking to the plan, sticking to the routine, being disciplined, it gives you freedom. It gives you the freedom that everyone is searching for, because at the end of the day, freedom and autonomy and the ability to do the things that make you excited, like if you can do them along the way to those other things and unlock, again, step by step, unlock each little level, I think that's what we're all striving for. Like there's nothing more that excites me, aside from doing some of the hard things like the hard runs or the hard races or the competitions. It's like I would just love to be able to, have such freedom that I can say to all my mates and all my friends, hey, we're going to bust over to Japan. We're going to go snowboarding for a week, and we're all going. It can happen, and you can make it happen.
Yeah. That
stuff excites me. It's that experience would be just, that'd be something you remember for the rest of your life.
100%.
It'd be exciting. It'd be fun. And if it's not exciting, it's not fun. Then why are we doing it?
Exactly. Have you always had this strong mindset around like discipline and sacrifice and sort of hard work? Like, what were you like as a kid growing up?
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Was it sort of modeled to you growing up from your parents, or?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it started when I when I signed up to Little Athletics Sunday in Adelaide, Sunday mornings we would bust out.
Always competitive.
Yeah. And so I have an older brother. He's 11 months older than me, and we were quite competitive. Who could run to the back fence the fastest? Who could win this game? Who could do this better? And we were so close in age that everything was a competition, and that was great. And we used to fight a lot about it, and that was good. It shaped us into who we are, and it also taught us. It gave you that killer instinct that I'm gonna hang on to this beep test longer than you, and you are not gonna break me. And that just who's willing to just go through the anguish the longest. It taught us a lot of that. So
it's funny, like the brother rivalry. Really, it was is so deep seated that it from such an early age that was conditioned into you. And like I'm sure, like when you go to those dark places, you sometimes probably think of your brother going,
all the time. Like he'd be hanging on, he'd be hanging on.
He'd be hanging on, yeah, exactly.
And then you put that into everything. So started at Little Athletics, and I remember I got there, had no idea how to, I could run to the back fence for sure, but I had no idea on, how to sprint. I was running, I raced 4 other kids, vividly remember this. I was 8 years old, running these 4 other kids, a pair of twins and one other guy. His name was Luke. And we're doing a 70 meter sprint, and we sprinted, came last. I hated it. I was like, Dad, I want to go home. This sucks. I lost. I want to go home. And I didn't like losing. And he's like, no, mate, come on, let's go to the discus. We'll go to discus now and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I didn't want to go back the next weekend. Anyway, he forced me to go back. And then I actually had a friend that I'd met at school. Her name's Steph Morton. She actually won gold at some recent Olympics.
Oh, right.
She won gold in sprint cycling. Steph Morton. Yeah, very good sprint cyclist. She went on to do that. Her dad at the time came over, and he knew that I was in her year at school. He said, hey, I watched you race your 70 meters last week. I'm going to give you a couple of tips. Gave me a couple of tips. He's like, look down the line, look through the line, look at the tree at the end. Don't take your eyes off it. He goes, last week you were looking around. He's like, do that. And he said, keep your chest up tall. And he goes, and pump the arms. So I just did those things. I just followed them, and I said, okay, I'm just going to do what he said. Again, I was 8 years old. Ended up winning the race. Raced the exact same three other blokes. Ended up winning the race, and I was like, interesting. Just that small tweak went from losing to winning in the space of a week. So I just tried to put that into practice. If I lost something, I was like, what can I change quick, smart to make the biggest impact? And that was just from then on, always.
It's crazy because it wasn't an ability thing. It was just like small little habits or, techniques in your running that made all the difference.
That was it. And then I was just hooked on winning after that. Ever since. And then to the point where like Dad started, making all these little things in the backyard for me to go and practice. So instead of just waiting a week to go and train and doing it on Sunday, he created like a little rock area where I could throw a shot put in the backyard. He hung up a fishing line with a bit of like plastic on the end that I had to run up and jump like a high jump and touch it. And if I could touch it so many times, wind it up a little bit and go higher. And so he made all these things and, measured a 400 meter track outside in the street. And so I started just like tuning into that, and I was like, I'm going to practice all the things that I should be doing. And then that went on. I jumped into rugby league soon after that, and speed's that's the killer attribute for for football. So if you had decent speed, you were always pretty good, even if you sucked at coordination and stuff. You had the ball and you got it in your hands and you could run around people. It was pretty good back in the day. So did that, and then everything from then, just like passing drills, kicking drills, everything. I just started working on all, and then I got addicted to training.
Did you?
And that's how it all kind of stemmed.
Is there a negative side effect to being addicted to training or addicted to winning or that growth? Yeah. Is there a cost of it?
100%.
There is?
You're very, very misunderstood by a lot of people.
Do you feel like you were?
100%. Yeah. My close friends, they got it because a lot of them were into training too, and they wanted to be better in their own sport. Some of them were kayakers. Some of them were union players. Some of them were Aussie rules players. They got it. So my close friends got it. But the people that didn't get it, I also didn't really care for their opinion either. So if someone is like, oh, not drinking tonight, it's like, yeah, nah, I'm good. And they wouldn't know why, but it's like, I don't need to suffer to make you feel better about your decision.
Yes.
That's just not going to happen.
That's what it comes down to, isn't it?
Mate, I see it all the time. I see it
still.
all the time. And still, even to this day,
Yeah.
you know, I have friends that are, you know, a few years older than me. You know, they're now considered in their late 30s, and you know, they still need everyone in the group to drink, or they don't feel good about drinking, or they want to heckle you into the point where you will cave, so they feel better about their decisions. And you know it's because they're not stoked with what's going down.
They know it's not good for you.
Yeah,
you know?
Deep down at the bottom level, they know it's not good for you, and they need everyone to be on a level, so they feel good about it.
Has that kept your circle or your tribe pretty small?
Yeah.
It has?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I always gravitate towards the people that are doing things that I aspire to be like, or I aspire to do. You know, a lot of, they don't have to be the world's greatest athlete or anything, even though I have some friends that are like considered, you know, legendary, but as long as they're committed to the cause, they've got a good head on their shoulders, and they hold themselves to a high standard, I'm about it, and I'll get around that. And the more I go on, you find people, they come in, they go out, and the ones that, you know, are really, really closely connected to the same goal, the same vision, they hang around. And it's not so much they hang around, you see them every day, but you know, you can always come back and it feels like you saw them last week. Exactly.
And I love that. And it seems like you've always lived your life authentically you. I remember sort of going through my stages of high school, and I was very much, because I think I was so insecure about myself that I was always wanted to be liked. You know, I went through a people-pleasing phase where I wanted, I don't know, I think I wanted attention. I wanted that external validation where I was, you know, changing myself in certain situations to fit in, or, you know, to get attention. Or
I did that too. 100%.
Oh, you did?
But yeah, I did that too, for
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Even to the point it still slips into my day-to-day as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because, again, it's nice to please.
It is.
You feel good about it, but it's also one of the biggest, it's one of the biggest negatives.
I was losing myself.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know who I was, because I was constantly changing myself and people pleasing. And then it got to a point was like, who am I? What do I actually like? Like, am I just liking that because other people like it and I feel like I fit in with the group? Like, who am I? What are my values? What are my beliefs? And I completely sort of lost myself sort of in that mid-20s where I was sort of playing footy and my identity was Elliot, the rugby player, that I was like, who am I outside of footy? Like, why is footy that main thing where everyone that talks to me is, how's footy going on the weekend? Or, you know, what team did you make, or anything like that? And I was just like, I felt really bad about myself, that I was like, have I only got to offer rugby in this world?
Yep.
Like, I honestly felt like for years I offered more than just, you know, rugby. But because I think, and we'll touch on it a little bit later, but I think I had a massive fear of failure where it stopped me from trying things, because when you try something new, like you said before, you're going to be dog shit at it. You know, I didn't want to be bad at it. I did not want to be bad at it. So it stopped me from trying new things. And I was good at rugby. So I just leaned into rugby so much because it gave me it almost gave me like an ego boost at some point, where I felt like important, I felt wanted, I felt popular, wherever the case may be, that I completely like just shut down emotionally and mentally, where it got to a breaking point. I couldn't figure out who I was without footy.
Yep.
Had you ever gone through anything similar to that?
Yeah, for sure. And I went through that with footy as well. I played rugby league for a decade, and I was good, but I think I wanted the same because I got such validation from my dad. He was so stoked when I did well. He was stoked when I scored tries. He was stoked when I made teams, and he did it in the nicest way. I wasn't a like, you must win way. No. It was like, he was just stoked to see me do well and have a good time.
Yeah.
And I took it as winning means good, therefore I must win everything. And it was I guess it was the praise. It was the enjoyment of people asking you, how'd you go on the weekend? It's like, yeah, I did really well. And that was nice because you always had something to talk about. Yeah. There's always, you know, if you're excelling in any particular area, and in footy field or academics or whatever it may be, as a teenager, that validation of people wanting to know what you're doing because you're doing well, that was like, you just, okay, that's what people want to hear about. That's what I'm going to lean into more. And then you start to kind of change, you know, what things mean to you. You start saying things because you know what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And that's easy enough to do. And I guess you can get caught in that trap. I think it does make you a good athlete, good footy player. It does do all those things for you, but it also can start to blur the lines on where you sit, what you want, and you will start maybe potentially leaning into things that don't really suit you or not a vibe because you don't want to rock the boat.
Big time.
And, you know, the power of saying no is like something I've had to really work on.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it forced me to look inwards because I think for a lot of my early years, you know, teenager going into like early 20s, I avoided that hard look inwards and try to figure out what I like, what I don't like, what I want to do with my life, you know. What do I actually want to do with my life? You know, not what someone else wants me to do or what I'm good at. Like, do you actually like what you're good at, or are you just doing it because you're good at it and it's sort of a comfort zone type thing? And I think that period of time, it made me really look inwards and actually like what I want out of my life. Like, I do a lot of people watching down at the beach and stuff.
Yeah.
And my big thing, and I get actually kind of emotional when I see it, is when I come across, you know, older people, older couple or older gentlemen, whatever it is, and I see them at the beach, and I just think about like, what's happened in their life?
Yeah.
Like, are they proud of what they've achieved in their life? Like, have they got any regrets? Like, I always look at them, they're down at the beach or they're walking on the beach or they're just sitting down and they're watching the ocean or something. Like, I always think about, like, I wonder what they've done in their life. Are they proud of what they've done? Is there any regrets that they want to do differently? And I sort of like picture myself at that age going, what regrets would I have?
I think about this all the time.
Oh, you do?
All the time.
Oh, right.
All the time.
Yeah.
There have been some times where I'm just like, I really want to know this guy's story.
Yes.
I was actually sitting, I see a regular barber, and this time I just couldn't. I needed to get a haircut. And I went in and sat down. This guy was in there, and he was about late 80s, old fella. And he used to own the store. Then he sold it, and then he went back there because he was bored to just do casual hours.
Oh, right.
And he gave me the lowdown on his whole life, and I was blown away by it. He was telling me that back in the day, he used to play music. He was a really good guitar player. He joined a band, and then he traveled around the world in his late 20s, early 30s, and played music and all these gigs, did all this cool stuff, partied a lot. And I said, between then and now, and he said it's like 80, 88, 89 or something. And I said, between then and now, like, what were the golden years? Like, what were the ones that you miss the most? And he goes, mate, 25 to 35. He goes, that was the best time of my life. Yeah. And I was like, noted.
Really?
Yeah. He just said all the stuff that he remembers, all the things that he misses the most, all of the fun, excitement that he had, all came about when he was doing his music, going around and touring, and he went all around the world playing music and stuff. And he goes, oh, that was the prime time. And I was like,
gives me goosebumps even thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, because I heard a quote not too long ago. It was like, I wish we could know that we're in the good old days before we even left them.
Yeah.
And it's like just a constant reminder that we are in the good old days.
Yeah.
You know, these are the days that we're going to be 88 years old and we're going to think about this and go, fuck, how good was that? Like, you know, how good was it? You got to soak it up.
Yeah.
Gotta,
I will say there's one time that I sat there and I did think about this, and I soaked it up and enjoyed the moment, and it's something that'll always stick with me. I was probably 17 at the time, maybe 18. Oh yeah, I would have been 18 because I was about to leave to go play footy up at South Logan, and so I was in Adelaide. I was having a surf with my best mate Luke, and we were surfing just a local break, just out by his place, and there was no one out there. We were getting 2.5, 3 foot waves by ourselves on the point at Triggs, and it was. I couldn't believe no one was out because typically it'd be, you know, you get 2.5 foot, you get 2.5 foot waves in Adelaide and it's bloody jammed. You get 50 people out there. But we were sitting there surfing and we were just catching wave after wave, just one for one the whole time. It was just constant flow. You never get that. You never get it. Like, it's very rare. And we did this all the way until it was pitch black. It was so good. And that was like every time we caught a wave, it was just like, yeah, you're just watching, you're enjoying them get a sick wave, and then I just remember thinking, oh, that doesn't get any better.
What's the feeling? Because you obviously still feel it now when you think about it. What's the feeling that it gives you?
It was just peace.
Yeah,
it was just peace. There was no distractions. I had things to look forward to at the time. nothing was a problem, and anything that potentially could have been a problem, it was dissolved instantly, and it was just that was probably right up there in terms of one of the
What are core memories for you?
Core memory for me.
Yeah.
That was just super fun, and I want to go do that more.
Yeah. Does surfing bring that for you? Is that your type of sort of release or reset, or your type of meditation? Is that what you get from it?
Yeah, it kind of depends on the conditions.
If you're getting 2 to 3 foot by yourself for 5 hours, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, or if it's way too big, then you're kind of shitting yourself at the same time. But I have to say, I was saying this to my partner, Loz, the other day. I said, I don't even consider myself a surfer anymore because I surf that rarely.
Yeah.
We're just busy and I don't make time for it, that I need to get back to it because some of the highlights, some of my core memories are just from surfing with mates, and by no means am I any good, but like just watching your mates wipe out or watching them get a sick wave, like all of that stuff is just some of the best memories. Yeah. So I share my best memories either doing that, hanging out with Loz and doing some fun stuff with her, or doing something tough together. Yeah. With doesn't matter who. Like,
do you guys train together? Do you?
Yeah. We love to train together.
Yeah.
Like we just,
I love that.
Yeah. And she's a different breed. She never was an athlete growing up, but she could have been. She could have been really good at anything she put her hands to. Like she's athletic, she's quick. She just has all the attributes like body shape, mental attitude. She could do it all.
Didn't want to?
Sorry?
Did she not want to?
I think she regrets it now, but I don't think she was really like pushed into doing it. She was never really like led the carrot. I think you really need to be dangled that carrot at some point, or you need to be instructed by someone, whether it could be a parent or it could be an authority in your life at the time.
Coach or a mentor or something, yeah.
And I just don't think she ever got that. I think she was just one of the athletic ones that never got that.
It's that topic's so interesting because I got a good mate of mine who was never pushed into doing anything in his life. And we were driving home from work one day and I was saying to him, I grew up in a very rugby family, all your mates, all your brothers, we all played footy together. It wasn't so much push, but it was just like you didn't have another option.
Yeah,
it wasn't, there's that fine line of like, there was no other option.
You're not going to be a black sheep. You're going to go straight with the flow.
So, and it was funny because he was always like, I wish my parents pushed me into doing something because I just don't really do anything. I just chill. Go, well, sometimes I wish I could not do something. I wish I could wake up on a Saturday and not do something.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just wild how we both had different upbringings. We're both working at the same job, but he's sort of going, I wish my parents sort of pushed me a bit more. And I'm thinking, I wish my parents were a little bit chill sometimes. Yeah. It's interesting sort of dynamic that is.
100%. Yeah. And again, the grass is always greener. Like Luke, he was a really good swimmer growing up, but he was, forced to be at the pool at 4:30 in the morning every day.
We did that.
Yeah. Like every day. And then, he kind of just rebelled on swimming. He's like, I never swim another lap in my life. And, he was a good footy player too, and he probably could have taken footy even further, but then had a couple of early injuries, like with his hips and his knees and stuff. So that kind of put that on the back burner. And then, he's good now. Like he's got a good gig, he's a fiery and he's having a good time. But I think if he could go back and he could avoid the injuries back then, he probably would have persisted and pursued football a bit more.
Yeah. Did you push yourself or did your dad also push you?
He did not push me one bit.
Really? So this is all self-driven?
I remember actually asking him to push me and he said
no.
Flat stick said no. Yeah, that was actually another vivid memory. He
even from a young kid, like you were just that self-driven that...
Yeah, well...
Your dad had all the support in the world.
Oh yeah, he would like I said, he would set up my training in the backyard and on the street. But I remember I went to an event and it was like an inter-club throwdown. It wasn't states or anything, but it was an inter-club throwdown. And I remember going and racing this one kid. What's his name?
Don't tell me you've remembered far too many names for me. That's so long ago.
What was his name? His last name was Spacey. Trent. His name was Trent Spacey. And he used to flog me in every run we would get together and race, and he was much quicker.
Sorry, do you have a hit list of people that's beaten you? No, you don't, do you?
100%, mate. 100%. I remember all these memories are just so ingrained into my brain that I even remember doing this race and being so pissed off that I lost. Like, I know the feeling. I was disappointed. Didn't even want to look at my dad. Didn't even want to look at him because I'd lost this race. Anyway, back then, so I'll give you another example, but I'll go into this. But essentially, I remember going to that race, losing to this another kid who was, you know, the best of his club in his age group, and I was probably the fastest of my club in my age group, and we got together, and I can even remember he raced for Ranella. It was like the suburb next door, and it scarred me.
I can tell.
And so we did this race, and then anyway, I said to Dad, I was so pissed off. I was like, oh, this sucks, and he's just like, imagine if you trained. Imagine if you trained. And I was like, what's that? Tell me more. Tell me what is this training that you speak of? And he said, you know, doing all the things that you do on Sunday, but you do them during the week to get faster and get better. And if you run more, you sprint more, you become faster. And I was starting to learn what that stuff meant.
At what age was this?
9.
Wow.
9, 10.
Yeah.
And I thought, and Dad was brought up in a household of 5 other kids as well, and you know, they went to the pool every morning, and they would go running with their dad, my grandpa, and you know, he was never like a high class athlete or anything, but you know, he ran city to surf and whatnot, and my grandpa ran marathons and things, so he knew about sport and training, and he'd kind of grown up with it, and I said, okay, cool. So if we train, I'm going to be able to go back and beat that kid. And he's just like, if you train, you definitely have a better shot. And so I said, okay, cool. So we got home and I said, hey, Dad, I want to do this training thing you were talking about. When you get home from work, can you make me train? And I remember asking him those exact words. And he goes, if you want to train, you'll do it yourself. And I was like, but can't you just tell me to go and do it? And he's like, if you want to do it, you'll do it. He goes, I'll help you. But if you want to do it, you have to keep yourself accountable. And I was like, okay, cool. And that was it. And then I was like, all right, if I want to get better, I'll do it. And so, you know, then the journey kind of progressed from there. And then, you know, I would spend weeks training, some nights not training, some weeks training, some weeks. And then you start to find patterns. The weeks that I trained, I was more refined. The weeks that I didn't do anything, I didn't do as good, or I was 0.2 of a second slower in my 100 meters. And then, you know, I started just having these hard lines in the sand. It was like, train, be better. Don't train, be worse. Simple, black and white. And so I just had that in my head all the time. Yeah. And it's like, if I wanted to get better at something, I had to work on it every day. And then I was just compulsive with it. I don't know what it is, but I was just compulsive with trying to be better at those things. And I vividly remember, and then this was another thing, this actually happened prior, but this was another good lesson I think I learned early on, and I was just lucky enough to, you know, again, very lucky just to get the advice. But I ran a kid in the grade below me, and he was actually, he had just joined up at my school. He came along to the athletics day at the local athletics club, and he won his race. I won mine, and we were racing in 2 different divisions. I think I was under 10s, he was under 9s or something like that. And after it all finished, he said, do you want to race? And I was like, yeah. I said, I'm going to rip this kid. And anyway, my dad, he stood there and I said, hey, Dad, I'm going to race this. Oh, what was his name? I'll remember his name too, Reese or something. I'm going to race this kid. Can you start us? And so standing there, and he started us. He clapped, and we took off, and we started running down the 100 meters, got to about the halfway mark, and he started getting away from me. And so I just pulled back and just didn't finish. And I stopped like at about the 60, 70 meter mark. And then he went on to, he won. It was just me and him. He won. And I walked off, and I was pretty pissed off. I was like, screw this. Yeah. And I walked over to Dad, and the disappointment on his face, not because I lost, because I stopped.
Because you quit. Yeah.
And I said, and he goes, don't you ever stop in a race ever again just because you're losing. And I was like, why is he so mad about that?
Yeah, what does that matter for?
Why? Who cares? Like, he was already winning, so why did I need to finish? And he goes, it's so disappointing that you started a race and you quit. He goes, don't ever quit halfway. He goes, take the loss and move on. And I was like, okay, there's something to do there. I don't quite understand it yet, but I will. Anyway, that made a lot of sense, and never have I stopped during a race, even when I was getting smacked.
So many important life lessons.
Yeah, just lucky enough.
At such a young age.
Yeah.
That you're it seems like you're very aware of yourself, and almost showing a sense of maturity beyond your years to accept criticism, advice. I remember when I was a kid and someone told me to do something, I probably wasn't listening, or even to when your dad said to you then, like, if you want to do something, you're going to do it. You're going to train yourself. What 9-year-old kid does that?
Yeah. And I guess it probably like I wasn't the best in school. So if I was getting told to do something in something I didn't care for,
Yeah.
fuck, I wasn't doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't have it. And I was almost like stubborn about it.
Yeah.
But if it was advice about something I cared for, whether it was sport typically, and it's pretty much only sport, I would take it. I'd take the advice straight up and learn. But if it was behavior or something or
Like stuff, yeah.
I was like, I'm not about it.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I think I've tried to put as many of those, I guess, skills or life lessons into other areas now, which is, you know, gyms and the brand and some other things. Some things have failed, some things have done well, some things are progressing, and it's just a pattern. It's a pattern of routine, and it's the consistency. And if anyone ever asked me, like I coach a few athletes, and they're just like, give us like just the one thing. I said, like, if you needed one thing, it's consistency. If you can do anything more consistent than the next, you'll be very good at it. You will beat the 99% of other people. But
Can't stop halfway through.
you cannot stop halfway through. You need to be consistent. You need to be super consistent. And I was never an over questioner. Like if someone gave me advice, I'd take it and go do it. Whereas I think a lot of people it's like I don't want to deter people from asking questions, but there becomes a point where you need to quit the questions and you need to get to action.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people waste a ton of time with too many questions. If someone says, "Hey, we're going to do 4 by 1 mile and we're holding this pace 5 seconds slower than your 5K time," whatever it may be. It's like, cool, we're doing that. And then if I feel like I really need to ask something once it's done, then I'll ask the question, but rarely will I ever.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah, but you know, I know people will want to know why they're running that, how they should feel, what the heart rate needs to be. It's like, hey, put all that to the wayside. Let's just get the work done.
Yeah.
And then if it's really bugging you in a couple of days' time, ask the question.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you mentioned something because just hearing the way you talk and sort of what you put your body through, and I mean this with the utmost respect as well, the sense of stubbornness. Like, I think a lot of people sometimes will have a sort of a negative narrative when it comes to being stubborn, but I think it's also how you use it can become your superpower. Like, you hate losing. You're stubborn with losing, that you've used it as such important fuel for all your successes in your life, not just, athletically, but in business and that sort of thing. Do you pride yourself on being that stubborn, hard-headed when it comes to when the work needs to get done, we're doing the work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to the point where you'll be completely misunderstood by so many people.
Yeah.
They'll see it as a negative, or they'll see it as you've got this obsessive compulsive nature, but really it's like black and white. Hey, we're doing the work. Let's go. And I'm just like, let's freaking rip it. And I don't like procrastinating. I really dislike it. So if I can see that that's happening, I'm just like, all right, let's go. We need to start. We need to start now. I'm going to cut the warm up short and we're going, because I know this is going to get dragged out. And I think the stubbornness, again, it can be a superpower, but it also can cause you can get under people's skin, I guess.
Yeah.
But it does help. It does help when you want to be good at your craft. It does. Like, and yeah, it's in the past. It doesn't gel with a lot of people. It doesn't gel with a lot of people being that stubborn. But it got to a point after the CrossFit Games in 2019 where I just stopped caring. I almost wanted to rebel against being stubborn and rebel against winning, because I think I just battered it for so long that I just wanted a period of time that because everyone wanted you to win. Everyone was just like, he's going to win, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And then I was just like, well, what if I don't? What if I don't win? And almost to the point where I wanted to do the opposite of what everyone wanted, just because I'd just done what everybody wanted for so long, or what I felt like I needed to do. And I'm just like, I've got all these people that are in my corner, and these people, again, these are the tribe that are in your corner, and they're telling you, pumping your tires and saying, you're going to go and crush regionals, you're going to go crush the games, you're going to go do this. And I was like, I'm sitting there thinking, well, what if I fucking don't? Yeah. And what if they're all disappointed? And what if they all sit there and go, what's wrong with him? What's going on? Why isn't he winning? Like, why isn't he doing this stuff? And so it almost got to the point where I just kind of let go of the competitive nature and just if I lose, I lose, and I hated that about it.
I bet
me.
you would.
I hated that about. I took the easy road, and that was just to become a little bit more relaxed about it. And that's not what be relaxed in other areas of your life, but the things that you hold yourself a high standard to, like I had to keep that. So
did you have a bit of shame around that, your personality or the way that you like to be competitive, all that sort of stubbornness? Did you have a little bit of shame around it, or maybe felt guilty about it?
I felt like I had this self-created pressure that I was just doing this with ease.
Yeah.
That everyone thought this was easy. And it was like, no, you'll just go and win that thing. You'll just go and win this competition. I was like, it's not as easy as that. I was like, and then I started creating all of these reasons as to why I shouldn't win. I was like, I'm running the gym. I've got to handle this business. I've got to make sure I'm here at this time for this person, or I've got to coach this class. And it was like all this energy out. And I was like, okay, what energy is left for me in my training? And it's all the things that I felt like I needed to voice the reasons as to why I shouldn't be winning. And then you get stuck in this negative spiral of, okay, well, maybe I won't win because of all these reasons. But it was almost the fact that everybody that thought I was going to go and do well at this particular thing, they didn't know what was beneath the workload. There's all these other aspects like tugging on your energy, tugging on your mindset, and they didn't know that. As far as they were concerned, you're a full-time athlete and all you do is wake up to train, go to bed and rinse and repeat. But there are all these other things underlying. And then when you start to see little holes in your game, you're just like, that minute that, I used to have friendly competitors from around the world that would do similar workouts and be like, that minute that I lost to them on that was because I took those bloody 3 classes and then I tried to train on an empty stomach and then you start picking holes in your game. That keeps you to a high standard, but it also can be a detriment because then you want to voice the reasons as to why. And that was one thing that I learned from a young age was if you had a bad run and you knew the reason why, there was no need to be like, I lost because of this. Just take it on the chin. Yeah. And the person who beat you, congratulations. I'll see you next time.
I love that. No excuses mentality.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And
because everyone's got their own shit going on too.
Everyone's doing the same stuff. Like you can have every excuse under the sun, but everybody else has their stuff too.
Exactly.
So
for sure.
Yours are still there and they're still real, but you don't need to tell people about it. As I said, you can work on it and tell the closest ones to you, sure, if you need to vent, but you don't need to be openly saying, you won because of this, or like that's bad sportsmanship, of course. But I always felt like if someone beat me fair and square, hey, props to you. Like I just have to bring my A game next time.
You mentioned that before. It's interesting because people will be jealous of where you are, but they won't be ever jealous of how you got there.
No.
People will see you winning. They'll see you on the podium. They'll see all the success. But like you said before, like they don't know, what's underneath, behind the scenes, underneath the surface. They don't understand the sacrifices and the hard work, and obviously because you don't talk about it, and they don't need to know.
No.
But at the same time, they're sort of, you'll win this. You're like, fucking hell. Like,
okay, mate. Pressure's on then, eh?
Pressure's on.
And then you just get caught in the habit of like, yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we do well here.
So let's talk about the CrossFit. So when did the transition go from, playing rugby league, and how did you get into CrossFit? Can you remember your first CrossFit workout?
I can tell you exactly what it is.
Oh, go.
100%.
Go.
So I played schoolboys footy. I was from Adelaide, so competition in Adelaide was very low.
I bet to ask you that.
Yeah. So out of all my mates, I had one mate who played rugby union.
Yeah.
All my other mates either did surf life or did surf life saving as a big group, and then most of my mates played Aussie rules. They played AFL.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And I ended up having this school competition, played rugby league, and I loved the fact that contact was cool. Like you were allowed to tackle this guy to the ground and dominate him, and you're allowed to do it. That was sick. So I just really grew to that, and then didn't realise, but I grew up in Sydney until I was 7 years old, moved to Adelaide when I was 7.5, 8 years old. And obviously New South Wales being a rugby league state, I didn't really realise. I came home and I said to mum and dad, I played this game today, and it's called rugby. And they're just like, you played rugby? Get out of town. And I said, I want to go do this thing at a local club. And then it was like, cool, even better. So I ended up doing this thing. Anyway, went to schoolboys, played state, made a couple of the affiliated states Australian teams, like the B pool teams, and then did that in the 15s, did that in the 18s, captained in the 18s, and then went and played during those years, like 14, 15, 16 at the AIS, and was exposed to all this really cool training, all this really cool stuff, high performance training and whatnot, and that was fantastic. And then after school finished, the day school finished, I packed my car and I said, I'm going to go and do a trial up in Queensland somewhere. I'm just going to go do a trial at a club up there. I'm going to try and get a spot. And so I had a couple of the local development officers call a couple of clubs, and they said, hey, yeah, you got a trial at East Tigers. Hey, you got a trial at South Logan. Hey, you got a trial, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I got in the car, went up, did the trials, ended up getting a spot playing under 20s at South Logan, and then ended up playing at another club there. Anyway, transitioned from there, went and had a trial with Para, and then they put me with Wentworthville, played in Wenny for a season. That was a fantastic season. We went undefeated. But that same season, I moved down to New South Wales and I started playing with Wentworthville. I had a call from a mate from back in Adelaide who was a really handy football player saying, hey, I'm doing this new type of training called CrossFit. It'd be really good for your footy. I know you're over there trying to crack it. This will be good for you. And I said, great, I love training hard. Sounds good. Tell me more. And he goes, there's plenty of gyms in Sydney. Go find a local gym and just have a crack. So I thought it would be a good way as a 20-year-old to just be able to go get a free gym membership. I'll message a few CrossFit gyms, get a free gym membership, and I'll offer just to clean the gym, just because I wasn't earning much money at the time. And I messaged 3 gyms. Heard back from one guy, ended up being a blessing. He was the regionals director, so nationals director. And during that 2011 season, I was doing CrossFit. I was working at Hertz at the airport from like 4 a.m. until 11. Go to the CrossFit gym for the midday class, do CrossFit, hang out, do some extras, go home, have some food, chill for an hour and a half, and then go to footy training. I did it 5 days a week and then played footy on the weekends. And
it's crazy to think about now how hectic those weeks would have been.
Yeah. And I just loved it.
Did you? Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. And then after footy training finished, I go to the gym. Go back to the gym. Yeah, go back to the gym and just go to a regular gym and just found this really grungy old gym and just did bodybuilding.
Just ripped in. Yeah.
And I didn't know anyone down in Sydney, so all I was there for was to train and be the best I possibly could be. So I just loved it. Like that was just like
heaven.
Glory days.
Yeah, glory days.
And so I was exposed to a whole season of footy and CrossFit together. And by the end of that football season, I was enjoying going to the CrossFit gym so much more than I was playing footy that there was a turning point. I remember speaking to this halfback who was playing Prems at the time, and he was like 28 years old, 29 years old, and he said, how's it going? How's the season going? I was like, yeah, we're doing pretty well. Like we've gone undefeated and a winning grand final and whatnot. And that was great. And I said, what are goals going? Just as long as we have a solid season, I'm kind of happy. And I was like, have you ever had a run in first grade? Have you ever get the call up? He's like, no. And I was like, And he's just, sinking tins after every game. And I thought, man, he's literally the grade below playing first grade. I don't want to be this fella in 8 years' time. Imagine if in 8 years' time I'm still just playing here at Wenny and not getting a call up. And I was like, and I was also torn because I was really enjoying the CrossFit. And I thought, just have some forethought here, James. Like, what are you into? What are you doing? Like, do you want that potential outcome, or do you want to go sink your teeth in this other thing? And I thought to myself, because when I first started CrossFit, I didn't realize it was a competition. I didn't know that you could compete.
You thought it was just like a training workouts and stuff. Yeah,
I thought it would just be this additive that I could add into my thing, my weekly training schedule. And the first workout I did, coming back to your question, the first workout I did was 1 minute max push-ups, 30-second break, 1 minute max box jumps, 30-second break, 1 minute max sit-ups, 30-second break, 1 minute max wall balls, 30-second break, 1 minute handstand hold, 30-second break. And it was just that repeated for 5 rounds. And it completely annihilated me. Yeah. And I thought, whatever this thing is, I have to do more of it. And so I kind of, at that point in time, I remember waking up one morning with this solid feeling. I was like, because I thought I had to play footy. I thought I had to play. I thought that, you know, mum and dad expected me to play. Not that they ever expected it. They just liked that I liked it. All my mates knew I was in a different state. I'd left them to go and pursue this goal. You know, if I tell them that I'm quitting, I'm a quitter. And eventually I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to do this thing that feels right for me here. And I'm going to go open my own CrossFit gym, and I'm going to do CrossFit. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open gyms. I'm going to do this CrossFit thing, and I'm going to compete, and I'm going to make the CrossFit Games. So the next day I packed my car and got out of Sydney, moved back to Adelaide, got a job in the mines, and I thought it'd be the fastest way to save up enough money to open a gym. And that's what I did.
Really?
Yep.
So how did it go from there, you know, just starting CrossFit, but having like the dream that this is where you want to take it, to 4-time fittest man in Australia, you know, 5th at the CrossFit Games in the world, like one of the fittest athletes in the world. What changed in your approach?
So I think it was also a bit of just probably a one-liner from my coach at the time. I remember during that first year in 2011 when I first started CrossFit, it was the first year of the Worldwide Open. So it was the first year you could all throw down your own gym, put up scores online, and you'd get ranked with a worldwide ranking.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
That was the first year they brought it in.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about it. That started a month after I started in the gym. And Mick at the time, he said, are you going to sign up for the Open? You got to sign up for the Open. And I was like, what's the Open? He goes, oh, all these workouts that we do day to day, we're going to get given 6 workouts from HQ in America. You're going to do the workout here in the gym. I'll judge you. And then you put your score up online. You get judged against all the best in the world. And I was like, fuck yes, that is what I want. I love that stuff. And I remember doing it, and I sucked big time. Like, I was not good. I was fit, I was strong, but I couldn't really overhead squat. I couldn't really do any of the movements proficiently. I could muscle my way through them. And I remember it was like 2 days out from an overhead squat workout, and I had to learn how to quick smart do an overhead squat at 50 kilos. Couldn't even do a barbell at the time because I was just so stiff. Anyway, figured it out. I practiced all day long with a broomstick, all day long, just making sure I could get this workout done. And I ended up finishing in Australia, I think out of 500 people, I finished 200, or 199. And so there was 198 other blokes fitter than me. I was like, can't be right. How does this work? So I thought to myself, I'm going to train my ass off, and I'm going to kill this thing next year. So I went home, got a job in the mines, was doing all my training out on the rig. We're on an isolated rig out in the Cooper Basin. And so I had a couple of guys weld me a barbell out there. And
Did ya?
Yeah. They welded me a 45 kilo barbell out of just scrap metal that we
Scrap
had.
metal steel. I love that.
Yeah. And then I took my set of rings out there. I'll do pull-ups on the rings, toes to rings. And then I got some jugs of water, and I was using them as farmer's carries. And so I did that after every daily
every shift. And everything. Yeah.
And ended up coming back. Yeah, when I got back home, I'd have 2 weeks at home train at the gym. And then, came back around to the Open of 2012. Ended up you had to place top 60 to get a shot to regionals, and I placed 48th. So, and that was 2,500 people registered that year. So 5x to last year, and made a bit of a gain. And I didn't think I was going to qualify, but I got 48, so I went. And then at regionals that year, I ended up placing 9th.
So in space of 12 months.
Yep.
From never trying it to trying it for your first time, and then 12 months later.
Yeah, I was ranked 9th in Australia. Yeah, so that was, and then I thought, okay, cool, we're doing the right thing here. Like,
we're on the right track.
I can see some progression. Next year, I'm going to win this thing, and I'm going to qualify for the games. And I did not do that. I had to go through a bit of failing first. So next year rolls around, placed 11th, even though I trained way better, trained way harder, placed 11th, and I thought, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And I had to reassess, end up getting a coach on board. Next year rolls around, got a coach on board. I was doing way more training than I ever thought I could possibly do, but it was like a real insight into what training should have been. And I ended up, and they took top 3. Top 3 went to the CrossFit Games. That year I placed 4th by 2 seconds.
Oh, right.
2 seconds, I missed out on this fucking spot. And that was 2014.
I've always asked my guests, what are your 3 non-negotiables for living a healthy and full life? For me, it's movement, community, and good nutrition. I've learned that what you fill your body with plays a massive role in how you feel physically and mentally. That's why I use True Protein. They're an Aussie brand doing things the right way. Clean, natural supplements with no artificial additives or fillers. Everything's made in-house in Sydney's northern beaches using the highest quality ingredients sourced from around the world. Whether it's supporting energy, improving focus, or reducing fatigue, their products genuinely help me show up better every single day. And just like Mind Your Head, they live by values I stand by. Be true, be you, and take care of your whole self.
So when you got fourth and all the training that you do and how hard you work, when say three guys beat you, you go, oh, they fucking earned it, like, because I'm fucking training hard.
Yeah.
So for them to beat me, what I'm doing, they've got to be doing something different.
I just thought,
what am I doing different here? You know?
Yeah, I in that instance, because I'd progressed so much and I felt so much fitter than the year before, I was like, oh, this is what training is supposed to be if you want to be like. There's a difference between top 5 and the top 10. That's a huge difference.
Is that a huge gap?
Massive. There's 2 or 3 sessions, 4 sessions every week. That's the gap.
Right.
So that's what I realized very quickly, is that the difference between placing top 3 at a nationals and placing 7th or 8th or 9th or 10th is a shitload of work. And I can even speak to this in the high rock space too. I can tell you exactly what that feels like as well. But that's a shitload of work to make up those spots. And I was like, I'm disappointed I just missed out, but I'm also really stoked to know that what I'm doing has made up 7 spots. Come full circle. Next year rolls around, I got injured, actually broke my wrist, and I had a torn patella tendon at the time. Tried my best and placed 13th, but I was deconditioned. I was like essentially deconditioned. Next year rolls around, this is 2016. This is my 5th year trying, and if I didn't qualify this year, who knows what would happen. But I went into that super fit, no injuries, done all the training, didn't miss a session, to the point where I was compulsive about every session, every rep, every part A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way through. Everything.
It's an addiction.
Yeah, I had to get it done. And if we had something on that night, whether it was like Easter dinner or whatever it may be, and I still had 2 or 3 parts left of training, I'd be back at the gym at 11 p.m. that night, finishing it before the next day. That's how it went. Ended up placing 2nd that year and qualified for my first CrossFit Games. And then the year after that one, the year after that one, the year after that one. And then, it was, I'd cracked the code on what was required.
What was the code?
Code was do consistency.
Yeah.
Do every part to every piece to the best of your ability on what you've got for the day, and don't let a low energy day affect you to the point where you just can the session, but you get through the session regardless. You come back the next day with a better attitude every day and stay injury free.
So on those days that you don't want to go are the most important days to go.
Some days are the best sessions.
Yeah,
and some days they are the best sessions, and some days they are the biggest grind ever. But you must do them anyway. You got to do them. And if you decide to not do it, you need to have a bloody good reason, like a really good reason. And if it's for the fact that you're just tired, or you feel sore, or you feel
unmotivated, whatever,
too bad. You got to go. That's it. You have to go. And if you're feeling under recovered, I don't care. You will get the training done, but you need to figure out a way to recover better. Like if it's an extra hour of sleep, you do it. If it's an extra food, you do it. If it's extra hydration, you do it. If it's jumping in the ocean, you do it. But here is what's going to make you the best. Here's the training that you must complete. You must do that. That goes without saying. Everything else around that affects this, sort that out. And to the point. And so the code for me was the consistency. It was staying injury free. It was moving well as an athlete, moving efficiently. But then it was also understanding that the things that detracted from doing this well and feeling good about this every day, I had to pretty much cut out of my life. So I had to stop taking classes at the gym because they were energy out. I had to stop going out on a weekend, even if it was just a late night and I wasn't drinking, which I never did. It was, making sure I took time during the day to chill out rather than to fill my time with work, which I can easily do. Yeah. So those things, that was the recipe, and I had to get it all done. And you just cannot go without getting it done. There's no substitute for getting in the miles.
For hard work.
For hard work, yeah. Got to get them in. Simple.
Was it hard for you to to get into that headspace and almost become very selfish in terms of what you want to achieve? Was it hard for you to make those sacrifices, or was it pretty simple because you had a goal?
Black and white.
Was it black and white? Easy done.
Yep.
I love that.
I'm waking up.
Yeah.
I'm training. No one gets in the way of training. Nothing.
Really?
No one. Nothing. And I'd wake up and it'd be like, what are you up to? It's like same thing as every day. I'm training. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to train. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to eat some food. I'm going to go down to the gym. I lived above the gym. I'm going to go down and I'm going to train, and nothing is stopping me.
Was there ever a moment where you relied on motivation, or does it come down to discipline? Because I know a lot of people who have conversations about, oh, I don't feel motivated today, or I'm having trouble feeling motivated at the gym. And for me, what changed my mindset is I don't care if I'm motivated or not. Like, I made a promise to myself that it comes down to discipline. And I went through a really sort of bad stage with my mental health where I had no discipline or respect for myself, where I would always lie to myself in terms of, oh, I'm going to go to the gym today at 6 a.m. and it'd be like 5:30 and I'll put it on snooze, and it became a dirty habit. And it sort of filtered it into my rest of my life, relationships, promises and relationships, or even jobs. And I was just like, I'm not a man of my word. Forget sort of the lies that I'm saying to anyone else, saying that I'll do this or I'll do that or I'll be there. It's the lies that I'm saying to myself that are really affecting me. And if it's as simple as I'm going to get up and go to the gym, and like, I'm going to keep doing that and hold those promises to myself and hold myself accountable. Is that what happened for you? Were you always sort of motivated? Like, I don't have to be motivated.
No,
it came down to discipline.
Discipline,
yeah,
discipline for sure. I didn't need to be motivated. I wasn't thinking about the CrossFit Games as motivation for me. I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, I wanted to go, and yeah, it was like that was the prize. That was the prize at the end of the day. But I was excited for the part A, how well I could execute part A of training, how well I could execute part B of training, how well I could execute part C of training. And they're the small little stepping stones you need to take. It's like, okay, if I'm going to back squat, I've got 6x3 at this percentage. How well can I get through that? Once that's done, move on. Next one.
I love that.
And it's bit by bit. Whereas I was thinking to myself, wake up, my alarm goes off, CrossFit Games 2016, let's freaking go. I never thought that.
Yeah, so it's always that short, in the moment, what are you trying to achieve right now or this week? What's the goal this week?
Yep, and be really reliant on trusting the coach that you've put in charge of your programming to give you all the things that you could potentially need to do well, and just relying on that and simplifying your life to that degree. It's like, I want to see the program, I want to know what food I'm having, and I'm going to make sure I execute this to the best of my ability. And then figure out things that allow you to do that easier. Like, my alarm goes off, like my feet are hitting the floor as I'm turning the alarm off. Like, simple. That was one thing I used to do all the time.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing that lately, just because we've got a puppy and he wants to cuddles in the morning.
Yeah, and it's pretty hard to say no to that.
It's very hard to say no, but I've always been one that as that alarm goes off, bang, I'm up. And then a lot of the time I wake up, and once you get in that routine, you wake up a couple minutes before that alarm anyway.
Yeah, it's like you don't negotiate with yourself. You don't go in your own head, oh, should I do it? Should I do it? Not do it? No, yeah.
Yeah, you need that. That's when you start negotiating with yourself, I know that I've overcommitted. I've overcommitted to something. If I start negotiating with myself, I've got too much going on and I need to simplify things. And I am the worst for overcommitting to too many things because I want to do everything. Like, I'll triple book myself sometimes. I will seriously triple book myself, and that's not good, and that's not being respectful to everybody else. But I sometimes get so caught up in getting after it and doing everything. I want to do everything all at once. That I need to understand that all the goals that make a difference, all the goals that you want to achieve, they'll all be worth it if you can lock yourself into utter focus. And you need to be focused. And if you spread yourself too thin, I've done this before, you spread yourself too thin, all of those major goals you'll fall slightly short of. But it's just focus. Like, you could have this dream of owning this particular business in this particular field, doing this and, hitting these particular numbers and doing whatever the goal is, the mission of the business. And you might have this thing that gets presented to you on the side that's also very shiny, and it's also very cool, and it's also potentially part of a timeline in your life that could have worked out. and then you try and spread yourself across two things, you have just made that first goal that you really, really want so much harder. You just need to keep that in mind.
Have you ever experienced burnout?
Oh, shit, yeah.
You have?
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
How do you come back from that?
It's very hard.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very tough, but it's doable.
Is it?
And the trick is
to not do it in the first place.
Yeah, the trick is to not do it in the first place. But sometimes I will say, the bounce back has slingshotted me.
Yeah.
Has propelled me further than where I was prior.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So after 2016 qualifying rookie year, didn't place as well as I wanted at CrossFit Games. I'm going to come back around. I'm going to crush this. Came back around in 2017, got a worse placing, almost like a reenactment of regionals back 5 years prior. And I thought, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, this was the hardest training I've ever done. It was grueling. It was sacrifice. It hurt everything. I tried so hard. I did everything I possibly could have done. Like, I trained so hard in 2016 because getting ready for games is like, you've got 2 months with no distractions. You've got 2 months where everybody understands that you can say no without feeling bad about it. So games training is sick. You just rip in and everything's a bonus. Like, you go to the games and it's a bonus, but it's not. Like, you get there and the prize is getting there. And the people that go to the games once and they just treat the games as the prize, and it's just being there is okay, they're the ones that typically don't come back.
Okay.
The ones that go there and have a deep-seated goal that I'm going to crush this thing, and I'm going to show people how good I am, and I'm going to put everything on the line to be the best I possibly can. They're the ones that have potential to come back for one more time. But then the ones that have just dialed it in are the ones that come back a third or fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh and a 10th or 11th time. And that's tough. Like, getting there once is really hard, but getting there multiple times is you need to be
different breed.
Yeah, screw loose.
So how many times have you been there?
I've been 5.
You've been 5 times.
Yeah. And I have some friends who've been 10, 11. Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what was your best year, 2019?
As an individual, 2019 placed 5th.
Yeah.
And then last year, 2024, we won the teams.
Oh, really? What changed in that 2019 year? Like, you done all your training, you worked your ass off. 2019 was your best finish. What was the lead up to that season? Did anything change? Were you more? Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, big time. So I'll say the burnout thing. And I'll say the 2019 thing. So that the 2017 burnout period where I did not want to touch the gym, I went 5 months. I think I trained in that 5 months after the CrossFit Games. I was so off it that I did not want to lift a barbell, look at training, go for a run, do anything. I got called up into a competition that I was not prepared for at all. I had not trained once. And they said, hey, we need you to fill in for this invitational competition, which is the coolest comp of the year. One of the guys has been let go. He can't compete. Can you step in? I was coaching that team at the time. They said, would you be coach? And I said, yeah, I'll be coach for Australia. One guy got let go. They said, can you fill in for that guy? And I was like, fuck, I am so unfit. I'm so unfit. Like, I had not touched anything. And I was like, holy crap. So I got off that phone call from the US saying, can you fill in? Went straight down to the gym and started training. And I trained really hard for 2 weeks, and we competed in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning that competition. It was sick. It was really good. And I just have a good ability of pulling things out on the day. It's like, lucky enough I can do
Rising to the pressure.
Yeah. I'll rise to whatever's required, but I'll suffer doing it. And I thought that would be the thing that kicked me back in the gear, but it wasn't. I thought, after this is so cool. I'm going to get back into training. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, the spark's back. Yeah.
The spark's back. Got back, dull. Got in. I would drive to the gym, sit in the car park for 2 minutes, go, fuck this, go home. I did that every day for like another 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And
someone like you.
So unlike me. And I hated it. It was depressing. It was not a fun feeling. I was not myself. I was like, I would say to myself, this is not you.
Did it worry you?
Yeah, I was just like, I'm never going to find the spark again. I'll never want to train again. And nothing excited me. Not even going for a surf excited me. I would go, but I would just be like, there. So it was really like, I don't know what it was. I think it was just pressure, burnout, not meeting expectations that I put on myself. I think that played a big role in not feeling great. And then, funnily enough, I had Shane Shane Orr and Tia Toomey. Tia's like, I'm not sure if you know who Tia is.
Very well.
Very well.
Yeah. She's an absolute legend.
On another level.
On another level.
On another level.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen it up close, firsthand. Like,
yeah.
absolute beast.
Yeah. So I became quite close with those guys at the Invitational, which we competed in a couple of months prior. And this came around to like February was when the Open started, and reached out to them and said, I'm not training at all. I have not trained since the Invitational. I didn't train 2 months prior to that. I haven't done anything. The Open is in 2 weeks' time. I don't want to do it. I kind of, something inside me wants to do it, but I can't bring myself to go into the gym and train. They're just like, Shane just said, fuck that, James. Get up here to Gladstone and come train with us. I got on a plane and left. I left the gym, the work, the environment just for a bit. It was a bit of reprieve. It just gave me this sense of, I'm here to now just train, and I don't have to worry about a thing. I don't have to worry about anything else. Went to Gladstone, and I went from being the most unfit I'd ever been to 6 weeks later to being the most fit I'd ever been.
Really?
Yeah.
In 6 weeks?
Catapulted me straight to, and it was so funny because the first week of the Open, which I got up there with 1 week until the Open started, and I was like, guys, I'm telling you, I'm pretty unfit. I'm pretty weak. I'm not good. Trust me. And, I thought I wouldn't be barely able to, squat 120. And then anyway, we're doing our sets at like 155, 160. And I was like, oh, that's actually not too bad for like 5 months off. And then we started doing some conditioning. It hurt a lot. The conditioning stuff hurt. The first week of the Open, I placed the worst I'd ever placed in any Open workout I've ever done. I was like 165, and Shane's like, ugh, mate.
Maybe you were right.
He's like, you're going to have to do that workout again, mate. Yeah. So I had to redo the freaking workout, and I made up 15 spots.
Yeah, okay.
And then the next week rolled around, and I placed like 115 in that workout. Then the next week rolled around, then I placed like 75. Then the next week rolled around, and I placed like 40. Then the final week rolls around, and I'm winning. I won the last workout. I never won an Open workout in Australia before, and I ended up winning that last workout. So I went from 165 to just chipping away. And then by the end of the Open, I was winning Australia-wide. And then I ended up getting an average placing of like 22.
Yeah.
So I just qualified. And then I'm just like, I was so stoked. And then we ended up just, the training that we were doing then, like in Gladstone, was just immense. Like the workload is excruciatingly intense, and it was hot as shit.
Was it the first time you have gone to their gym and experienced that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And we just trained hard, and every day was just built around training. The whole day was training. It was like training all day, and we're at the gym for 4 hours at night time, 3 hours in the morning, every day. And it was hot. So you're getting that heat acclimation. You're getting in it was just pure building your body to be good at this thing. It was great. And then I went home to Adelaide, continued the training. Like I had just made so much progress that now that I'd made so much progress, there's no way I could let it go. So that was the carrot that was dangling me to get into the gym every day. And then Tia and Shane came down to Adelaide like a couple of weeks later and said, let's continue training, let's go. And it was freaking freezing. I remember being so cold compared to Gladstone. Anyway, we went to regionals that year, and it was almost flawless. Like I felt so fit, felt so confident. Ended up, I think out of the 6 workouts we had, I think I ended up winning 3 of them and placing second in the other 3.
That's incredible. And like even what you're talking about then, because I've heard a bit of science behind it where, the best thing for overthinking is just action, just to take action. Like you can't think your way over, the issue. You just got to take action. Forget about what your brain says. You're sort of down and in that rut almost that you needed sort of Shane and Tia to be like, you come with us.
Come with us.
Forget what you're thinking in your head.
Yep. Here's
come
the routine.
Train.
Yep. And you can't say no.
Yeah.
And you can't say no. And that's the thing. And that's why I like people jumping into classes from time to time. So when my athletes are feeling a bit lethargic, a bit unmotivated, they're doing the routine, and that's great. But if they're starting to feel a little bit off, it's like, hey, just go to a class. Go to your local gym, participate in a class, you'll love it. And every time they're just like, I love just walking in and being told what to do. Yeah. And I love that too. Yeah. I'll do it from time to time, and I just love walking in. Warm up is this amount of time, 6 or 7 minutes, whatever it is. There's no procrastinating, there's no delaying. Yeah. It's just we're in, we're out. It's great. Yeah. And it just gives you what you need sometimes. And every day was like that up there because hey, James, we're going to the gym at 7:40. Just be ready. And it's like, okay, cool. And you're in the car at 7:40. You go to the gym. Okay, we're warming up. We're doing this. It's great. You just dangle the carrot. Let's go.
It goes to show and see what Tia has accomplished.
You can, oh, mate.
Like, firsthand, you're like, what she puts her body through is just incredible. There's no surprise how many times she's won it. Is it
8?
8 recently, I think. Recently she just won it her 8th time. And being a mum as well, like, how do you juggle?
She's built different for sure.
She is,
and she's just robust. She can handle the workload. And the thing that some people it's not that you either have it or you don't have it, but there is an element to it that you do have or you don't have. And part of it is that they built year on year on year, whereas some people build on a year, they do really well. They might come third at the CrossFit Games, and then they take a bit of time off, they come back and they rebuild to the point where they were that year. They rebuild past where they finished. They start off from where they finished. So every year they're getting better, whereas most people that come into the fray, they just try and build back to their former year. And I think some of them don't. There are very few outliers that don't. And she's one of them. She's probably the best for doing that. She always progresses better than she was the year before.
It's incredible to see. Did I read somewhere that you did an Ironman after a crash?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Was that 2019 as well?
Uh-huh.
So what, did you win CrossFit Games? Oh, so you got 5th in CrossFit Games.
Yep.
And then later that year,
Want to do an Ironman.
you wanted to do an Ironman.
Yep.
But you had a crash.
Yep.
What happened?
Yeah. So so when the Open finished in 2019, I took a bit of time off to renovate the gym. So the Open finished, I'd qualified for the next stage. I took like 2 weeks off to renovate. And during that period, I needed something to like trigger me to get back into it. So I wanted to try something new. So I did a half Ironman. And we found out about the half Ironman on the Wednesday, and it was on the Sunday morning or something. So I was like, a couple of boys from the gym, hey guys, you want to go do this half Ironman thing? And they were just like, yeah, let's go. And then one of the boys was like, you can't do that, mate. Like, it's a half. It's gonna be tough. It's like, yeah, let's go do it. Let's see how we go. Anyway, we all got it done, and we had a blast doing it. And I thought, oh, that's awesome. Oh, I really want to try a full. A full would be cool. And anyway, so I got back to training, did the CrossFit thing, ended up doing really, really well there. I had a new coach that year because Tia and Shane moved to the States, and I was still in Australia. And that was a year that they went from regionals to sanctionals, and she was getting ready for a comp at different time period to me. So Shane trying to develop programming for me and for Tia at different stages was going to be a bit tough. So I ended up finding a new coach, Michelle Laton from Decacomp up in Montreal, and she coached me through that season. And she just gave me just what I needed at the right time, didn't overdo me, didn't underdo me. And then I went and did a 2-month camp with them out in Montreal, and it was just enough stimulus without burning you out, with a couple of little, like, some insight onto what I was capable of. So building on the year prior, which I'd built a ton of fitness, moving into 2019, which I was unsure of whether I wanted to compete it again or not, but I wasn't like hands down not going to do it. I was like, oh yeah, I think I'll have another crack. I got into a camp with the likes of Pat Vellner, Laura Horvath, and seeing what Pat could do in day-to-day training and what I could do, you know, we would go to and fro 50-50 depending on what the workout was. And Michelle was like, James, you need to understand, firstly she said, what are your goals? And I said, look, I'd be so stoked with a top 10. If I placed top 10 at the CrossFit Games, I could sleep a happy man. And she goes, you're good for a podium, right? And I was like, I'd be stoked with top 10. And if I placed top 5, I would be over the moon. And she's just like, well, Pat places on the podium every year. And you go 50-50 in most workouts. And you need to realize your running ability is very good in the CrossFit Games standard. And 50% of the workouts at the CrossFit Games have running in them, looking at history. You could place podium. And I was like, maybe I could place podium.
You got a point there.
You got a point. And that's all I needed. Yeah. And then in my mind after that, I was like, I could place podium. And then that was the year I placed 5th.
Incredible.
Yeah. And it was just, it was just enough training. It was hard. Like, it was grueling. We did all the right things. And then we just tapered really well. Everything about that lead up was good. Like, it was just pinpoint. I was going into training for the first 4 weeks of that training block in Montreal, not having breakfast. So I'd just go in and just train. And Michelle said, don't like brekkie? And I was like, Well, she didn't say brekkie. We say that. But she said, don't like breakfast. And I was just like, oh, I just like to train on an empty stomach. She goes, I want you to start having breakfast.
Oh, right.
So I started having breakfast.
Made a difference.
Made a huge difference.
So are you plant-based?
Yep.
Still?
Yep.
And what was the reason? Pure,
Yeah, it was purely...
performance recovery? Oh.
No, zero. It had nothing to do with performance or recovery. It was all to do with the animals. It was just...
I love that.
Didn't want to participate in any suffering or any discomfort or any sadness. I just thought it's not an industry for me.
Ethical thing, for sure.
It just wasn't an industry I was prepared to support.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And there's so many like myths, like there's so many, stereotypes and narratives around plant-based athletes where they talk about, protein. Where do you get the protein from? I'm sure you've had, a ton of conversations around it.
Yep.
How do you respond to those sorts of things? Because you've obviously you still are like one of the fittest people in Australia for sure. And all on a plant-based, diet.
Yeah. So I actually went plant-based would have been about 3 weeks before the bike accident.
Oh, right.
Prior to the Ironman.
Yeah.
So it was like it was around early October 2019, I would say. But yeah, you combat that with, every plant has all the amino acids and you just need to combine them all and you'll be fine. And don't worry too much. But total protein intake, maybe track it a little bit. Make sure you're getting in nuts, seeds, legumes, tempeh, tofu. You can even use seitan if you want to use that. Obviously protein powder. I make a really good one. So that's the reason why I did it, because I wanted to make a really good one.
Yeah.
And it's a complete... again, this is mindset stuff. Like the mindset that I had going into the 2019 games that I could win or I could podium or I could do very well is the same thing. It's just like, no, I can eat a plant-based diet and I can do well. And if you want to talk yourself out of doing well in something, you can easily do that. And if you want to talk yourself, I had good days and bad days when I was eating an omnivorous diet.
Yeah.
When I was eating meat, I had good days and bad days, but you put someone on a plant-based diet and they have a bad day, it's a plant-based diet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it fits whatever bias, opinion you've got there. But have you really seen a difference, let's just say performance-wise or recovery-wise, being on plant-based?
To be honest,
no.
I've felt 0% better or worse.
Oh, right.
I feel exactly the same as the day that I stopped eating meat.
Yeah, okay.
I feel the same. Like, I'm not going to say that it's made me superhuman. Like a lot of people will.
Yeah.
No, I don't feel that. And it definitely has not made me any worse.
Yeah.
Like so post that time frame in 2019, bench press, back squat, deadlift, running splits, everything I've PR'd since then. And years and years later, I'm probably running the best I ever have in my life now. And I was lifting the heaviest I've ever lifted in 2022, 2023. And that was years after going plant-based. Years after.
Something I like to sort of cover before we sort of come to an end here is talk about, I guess this podcast is sort of focused around mental health and people's struggles and the highs and especially the lows that people go through. What do you think was your darkest time?
Definitely the period after the 2017 CrossFit Games where I didn't want to train for 5 months.
That burnout period.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was really
the
tough.
Darkest moment.
Yep. I did not want to see anyone, look at anyone. I didn't even want to look at anyone in the eyes. Like, it was weird. It was weird. I felt out of my body.
Did it really scare you that period?
Yeah, I kind of thought I'm never going to find enjoyment or fun or excitement in anything ever again.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And I was hopeful that I would find a way out, but I didn't know what that way out was. And I just couldn't figure it out until something happened, like the part of the waiting process. It's just like, Shane reached out and said, you're more than welcome to come up.
Just to snap you out of it pretty much.
Snap you out of it, yeah. And I think when people are going through a tough time, there's always someone out there that's gone through it before. And there's always people out there that you don't even, like, I didn't even think about calling them. Lucky enough, we reached out and that was all I needed. I needed to just escape my day-to-day just for a little bit and get into things that brought me back to ground zero, brought me back to what I really enjoy, and that's training every day and all day.
So how do you do that now? Like, how do you keep your mental health in check now or get yourself in a good headspace when you do feel like it's slipping a little bit?
I have to look at a couple of different things.
Okay.
And it has happened because I've been, the last 6 months of training and business it's been the best it's ever had, but it's also been the most testing mentally. And I can hands down say it's not a smooth pathway. It's up and down. And like sometimes I'm pulling my hair out, like even 3 months ago, pulling my hair out to figure out how I'm going to make it the next month, and it's tough and everyone goes through it. And it does sound like, again, Instagram, social media, it'll make it sound la-di-da, but go back to the basics. I always Loz, my beautiful partner, always brings me back to the basics. She's just like, if you don't train, if you don't eat well, nothing is good for you. So priorities, we train regardless of how much work you have, regardless of how many emails you have, regardless of how many spot fires you need to put out, regardless of how many orders people are waiting on, or regardless of wherever we're at and whatever we're doing, you must eat well, train well, sleep well. Everything else is better. And everything else is easier overcome if you hold yourself accountable to those things. And every time I go back to that basic routine of those things and making sure I execute them, I'm much better. And also, on top of that, half the time I'm very much like, I need to do this and do it really, really, really well. And Loz is just like, James, just relax.
Yeah.
You know what? Everything will be fine. And all the things that you're stressing about, no one else is stressing about them. And if they are, who cares? Who cares? You'll fix it in due course. You'll fix it when the time comes.
Sounds like a great person to constantly ground you.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel better about every terrible situation.
Yeah.
Every situation I deem as terrible. Someone's waiting for their $50 order, and I think the world's ending. But I'm just like, I want to keep him happy.
Yeah.
I want to keep him happy because like the business is my baby.
Yeah. And it means a lot to you.
It does,
Yeah.
and I want everyone to have a good experience. And if someone has a bad experience, I'm just like, that's a reflection on me, and I don't want that.
How can I fix that?
How can I fix it?
Yeah.
So,
well, what I love about there, you said, I always ask sort of the guests, what are your 3 non-negotiables for living a healthy and full life? Training, eating, sleeping.
Yep.
Will they be your 3 pillars, you think? That constantly, you can rely on those ones to sort of ground you and almost reset?
Yeah, those definitely in particular. And then a fourth one I would add to that is spending time with people you love. If you do that, like share enjoyment with other people, and make time for it, because if you do not make time for it, all the other stuff is not worthwhile. And the instant that you make all the other things a priority, you're just setting yourself up for a health episode of some description, whether it's a mental health episode, a physical thing. And once that comes into play, then you get perspective on how little everything else means.
For sure. And it's also like you shared enjoyment. It's also what I found when I was talking to you about my mates, that we get into the Hurt Locker together. It's all of the shared suffering too. The best. Yeah.
Like even this morning, I'm still riding the high from it because we were given a ridiculous speed to run at, and we had 13 by 600 at a crazy ridiculous speed, and I was hanging on for dear life after round 2 of 13. And I really badly didn't want to finish it because I was like, I'm not going to finish this. And I see Dino over there just ticking over like nothing, and I'm just like, fuck, how's he doing that? Yeah. And we hung on, we got it done, we all got it done. Jess, Loz, Dean, myself, we all got it done, and I was stoked after it. I was like, man, now I know for a fact that if I'm hanging on for dear life after round 2 of 13, I'm getting everything done.
You can do it.
Yeah, if I can get to halfway, I can finish it.
Yeah, it's a great mindset. And now you're a crossover into High Rocks, which is very popular at the moment now. You've got your own High Rocks Performance Centre. Why the crossover? Why sort of go from CrossFit to High Rocks? Very similar.
Yep.
What itch is it scratching?
Well, growing up, I did a lot of running. Growing up, I did athletics. I did rugby league. I really enjoyed running at surf. And I'd scratched the CrossFit itch to the degree that, it could.
There's a scar there.
There's a scar there. And I just wanted to lean into something that I felt like I could have a little bit more longevity in, something that would really scratch the itch of running. And then I started seeing progression that I haven't seen for like 10 years in anything really. Like you see those strength gains early on, and then they're just very micro gains thereafter. But with this, it was like, running a 4-minute K is pretty tough. And now we're running, 3-minute Ks or 3 10Ks. And it's that progression was exciting. Again, another project. You're getting to build this engine in a different way. And then you could put it on display. And, there are some subtle positives about the event that I love. It's a one event and done. Rather than CrossFit Games, you got to do 13 events. You got to warm up and cool down 13 times. You got to prep yourself for everything, and that's tough in itself, and that's another challenge. But this is you go in, you do your race, you get out.
Is that more grueling, the CrossFit Games, because you got 13 events?
Oh, it's horrific.
It is horrific.
Yeah.
It looks horrific.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It's not a.
Yeah.
If you do well, it's almost intensified in either direction. So you go there, you prep, you do everything you possibly can, you get to the CrossFit Games. If you do bad, it's really bad because it fucking hurts. It hurts, it's uncomfortable, and you also don't meet expectations.
Yeah.
Whereas when you do really good, the hurt that it took to get there and the hurt that it took for every event, because you need to send every event and execute every event, that when you do well, it's exceptional. The feeling is intensified to the nth degree. Whereas with High Rocks, I did my first race in 2023, and I've just seen really good progression. I like the community, I like the environment, I like the layout, I like that it's running based, I like that you can go in and get it done in one event. And if you do want to suffer through 2, you can do 2, and you can share with a friend.
Yeah.
There are great crossovers, and they both have their own place. I just I just scratched the CrossFit itch so much that I'm just ready for something different.
What's next?
After this?
Yeah.
I think I would like to try some combat sport.
Oh, really?
Yep.
In what way? Sort of MMA, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
have you done that before?
No.
Oh.
No. Well, not since I think I was in year 10, and we would go to a local kickboxing, a local Muay Thai gym for I don't know what, two terms or something like that, me and some friends, just to do something different, just to hit some pads. Yeah. And I'm just intrigued.
Yeah, you're curious around
it.
I'm
curious just for, what I'd really like to do. So my partner Loz, her sister's a very good kickboxer.
Oh, right.
A very good Muay Thai fighter, and her partner I watched a live fight for the first time. It was actually my partner's brother-in-law fight last Saturday night in a kickboxing, not a Muay Thai, but a kickboxing on a Saturday night in Brisbane, and ended up winning the belt. And I was like, this is freaking cool. This is cool. So I'd love to go over. They live in Thailand.
Yep.
I'd love to go over and just do an 8-week camp.
You do a camp or something.
Do a camp and then do a fight at the end.
Yeah.
I think that'll just be, I'm fascinated by, not that I want to be a world champion or anything, kind of like the Ironman itch.
Yeah.
It's just, I've never done it. And I think it requires skill. You get to learn. It requires endurance, stamina, capacity. So you have to do something under stress. I like that. And you also, it's competitive. You're either losing or winning against somebody else who's put effort into getting themselves good.
Yeah.
I'd find it fascinating. It could even be jiu-jitsu, I think that's a cool thing too. I've always loved wrestling ever since rugby league days. So I don't know, maybe after High Rocks we do a bit of, for fun, recreationally, we do some style of martial arts.
I love that.
That'd be cool.
I feel like you're very, very good or equipped at putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and thriving in it.
Yeah, and I like it. I really like it. I love playing.
It's a special trait to have.
Yeah, Well, the reason why I got into Ironman was because I was doing crit races of an evening on a Tuesday night at the local crit track and just racing bikes, which is electric. Your lactic in the legs is like no other. The leg pump you get from it is hectic. And so I loved riding bikes too. So I got hooked on that. And then I was like, I wouldn't do Ironman, blah blah. But then even racing motorcycles, that was a fun period of time. We just go do track days and just race around the track, and you kind of try and get around as quick as you can. But then you're putting your skills into other uses. And when I did strongman for a little while or powerlifting, that was really fun, and just trying to excel in something that you're not supposed to excel in was always intriguing to me. Yeah, it's just fun.
It's fun. Before we go, products.
Yeah,
let's have a quick chat about it, because you've obviously got your Hyrox Performance Center on the Gold Coast here. How's the business ventures been? Opening the gym, you've got your supplements here. How's that all journey been for you? Amazing.
It's been 3 years with the supplements, and it's amazing.
So what do we got here?
So there you have a non-stim pre, so that's a really good functional pre-workout that you can have without caffeine. So it's a bit of a mix of some herbs.
That's perfect because I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, so good non-stim.
Yeah.
Really good for cell health, really good for the gut.
Yeah.
Helps to vasodilate and promote oxygen and blood flow. It's got some fulvic mineral pitch in there, so it's a very healthy way to take a pre.
Yeah.
And that one there, you've got super brown. So that's like a greens powder.
Oh, nice.
But it's a bit of a concoction of a few different other herbs that give it a brown color. So you've got things like ginseng, maca root, bit of ashwagandha.
Yeah.
You've got some pine bark and oak bark. So it's a little bit unique. It's a comprehensive greens powder, essentially.
Yeah, awesome.
And then we started like I guess our hero product, our main product is our protein.
Yeah.
I have to say I'm biased, but I think it's the best plant protein in the world.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's basic. It does the job. But we've added in some probiotics and enzymes to help with the breakdown. But it helps promote gut health. Everything we do has a gut microbiome health benefit to it, whether it's a prebiotic, a probiotic, or a postbiotic, or we ferment our own stuff.
Yeah.
And then the protein itself, it's comparable to whey in terms of amino acid power. It also tastes great.
Yeah.
It doesn't leave any aftertaste, and it's
ticks all the boxes, mate.
That was the whole idea.
Yeah,
tick all the boxes, make it healthy, make it tasteful. We wanted to make sure people were able to recover well and something they could use long term without it causing detriment long term, which are, I guess, a lot of standard, whey proteins could cause some stomach discomfort. But the whole idea is look after the gut, look after everything else.
Exactly. The gut's a second mind.
Yeah, we have to look after it. And if we're not doing that, then there's no point taking a supplement. Might as well just eat clean food.
What's the biggest learnings you've had during the business side of your life now, where there's the gym, where there's the supplements? What's the biggest learnings that you've had? Could be hard learnings, could be good learnings, could be failures.
Good things take time.
Good things take time. Not to rush.
Not to rush.
Yeah.
You can always try and skip a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And you'll have to come back and hit that stepping stone at some point. So don't rush.
Yeah.
I wanted this to be an overnight success. Like I wanted to blow up and crush it in the first year, but I also wanted to go and crush it in my first year at the CrossFit Games. And I was humbled completely at the CrossFit Games, and I was humbled in my first year doing this too. I was humbled in my second year doing that, and I was humbled in my third year doing that. And fourth year's a charm, so let's freaking go.
Awesome, can't wait. I actually would love to come to your gym and get a little session there.
Come throw down.
Come throw down.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
It's buzzing. Yeah. Honestly, the gym is buzzing. Like the response that we got from that has exceeded all expectations.
Has it really?
It's I think we did run a simulation once a month where people can do a full High Rocks using the High Rocks race day gear the first Sunday of every month. First week we had 5, second week we had 35, and the first month we had 5, the second month we had 35, and the one just gone, our third month, we just had nearly 60.
Wow.
So, and people are going hard.
They're
awesome.
Hooked. People are hooked on it.
They're hooked, and it's good fun.
It is good fun.
You have to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring some friends.
I've got these last questions, are quick fire questions.
Yeah.
So you can answer these as quickly or as long as you want.
Yep.
What scares you these days?
What scares me? One thing that scares me is like making a wrong decision in the business and everything completely tanking and letting a lot of people down.
What's your purpose?
I think my purpose is to live a life of as much excitement as I possibly can.
Love that. What makes you happy?
Hanging out with Loz and the dog. That makes me
Is
really
it?
happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Sharing time with people I love.
Yeah. What gives you peace?
Even though it's been a long time since I felt peace doing it, but surfing.
Surfing. What's one thing you're grateful for right now?
Oh, I'm grateful for my partner.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, Lauren.
She's the best.
Yeah, she keeps me solid.
Yeah, I love that. What's one training myth you would want to ban forever?
Oh, this is a good one. One training myth that I'd like to ban forever is that you cannot. I've heard so many people on podcasts and things say this all the time, but and they're just so hard-lined about it. I like to keep them open mind about this stuff. And if you want to draw a hard line, you'll have the hard line in your own self.
Yeah.
The hard line will be set for you.
Yeah.
But you can't progress endurance and strength to the degree people think you can at the same time. Some people...
You got to do one or the other.
No, you can do them both.
Oh, you can do them both?
You can do them both. 100%.
Really? So you get strong and
Come
fit.
If someone wants to test it out, be my guest. I'll give you a free membership at the gym and I'll show you. 100%.
Straight into the camera.
Yeah, let's freaking go. I will prove this myth wrong.
Yeah.
If you've been training for the last couple of years, but you want to get fit and strong at the same time, I will show you how quick you can do it. And you could have someone, and I would even say this, you could have someone solely focusing on strength, same type of athlete, same type of situation, same years in the game, and we would be able to progress their fitness and their strength at the same rate as someone who's just focusing on strength.
So why is there a myth out there? Is it just misinformation?
I think interference. I think people want to draw hard lines. People want to draw hard lines and they want to cap people on what's possible.
Put barriers on themselves. Yeah,
and it's personal lived experience. People draw on personal lived experience every time. So the people that are drawing on the experience of very strong people who've focused on strength will say this is the way to do it because that's all they know. People who are focused on endurance and fitness, this is what they've been taught from their coach and their coach's mentor and their coach's coach's mentor. And this is the way to do it. And then the difference between, I think people will call these people hybrids. I think football players are the original hybrids, but I've done it completely different. The CrossFit guys have done it very different. And hey, you can get better. And I've heard CrossFitters even say they've gone into CrossFit, done okay, then come out and said, oh, you'll never get as good at strength as if you'd focus solely on strength. But I beg to differ. I beg to differ because it hasn't been my experience.
I'll put it to the test.
Yeah.
What's been the hardest workout you've ever experienced to this day?
Yeah, I've got one.
You got one?
Yeah. So two, and they're both running events. Two is the first one was the first ever CrossFit Games workout I ever participated in. 2016, the Ranch Run, 7 kilometer through the trails of the ranch. It was 37 degrees. It was hot. It was dusty. And the reason it hurt so much was because I deemed myself a runner at the time, but I didn't touch running that much leading up to the games because I was focusing on all my weaknesses. Therefore, I went to the games. I sucked at all my strengths and I sucked at all my weaknesses. And so that run was one of the most grueling things. And I had to talk to myself a few times during that 7K trail run. You wanted to be here so bad. Now soak it up, James. Because I remember thinking, fuck, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm sucking at this. I should be good at this. I'm sucking at this. I'm so out of breath. My legs are so heavy. Why do I feel like this? I was like, and all I replied with was, you wanted to be here. You wanted to be here, man.
You asked for this.
You asked for it, and here you are.
Yeah.
And then the second time was the Sydney Marathon a couple months ago.
Yeah.
That was one of the most grueling exercises I've ever done.
Why is that specifically that one?
I just was underprepared.
Okay.
Like we were setting the gym up.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to give an excuse. Here, but the reason why it did hurt so bad was I just didn't do enough Ks. There was no way around the mileage, like I mentioned before.
You need Ks on the legs, don't you?
You need Ks on the legs, and we were doing 22 Ks a week. Should have been doing more like 50, 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get through a marathon on 20 Ks a week. Sure, you can do it, but it depends on the time you want to get. Whereas I wanted a particular time, so I held a pace that I had no business holding with the training that I had done, and that was simple, plain and simple.
What I love about sort of your story is that you've achieved the peak of fitness, right? You've achieved so much, but the common theme is you still get head noise every now and again.
Oh yeah,
and I think a lot of people will have this thought that I just want to get rid of it altogether. But I don't think that's the secret. I think the secret is learning how to deal with it and understanding that it will come and go. It'll always be there. But you've almost got to embrace that there is going to be head noise. There's going to be thoughts that you're like, you don't fucking want to, I don't want to do this. Yeah. But that's the work in itself, is to not give into it and find your ways, your pillars that you rely on to get yourself to do the workout. Or whatever it is, whatever it is that you're doing.
You do, 100%. There are some times where I have to play some games in my head. You got to play those games and you play them until you're finished. And I remember last week's threshold session was really tough, probably one of the hardest ones we've ever done. And you know how you clear the cache when you go onto your computer, you clear the cache and the history that you've got there? I had to tell myself every 30 seconds for this 6-minute block. And we did 5 of these 6-minute blocks, and every 30 seconds was like, that pain that you just felt for the last 30 seconds, quickly just clear that cache and just go for another 30 seconds. And then it's like,
that's so
and then
crazy.
It came back and I was like, quickly clear that cache. It's getting pretty bad. Quickly clear it and take a couple of breaths. And then I was like, no, you're fine. Oh, you're not fine. Clear it, quick, clear it. And I had to do that the whole time. And just some days are flowing. Some days you are in flow state and you want to get there as much as you can. In competition, that's where you want to be. And then other times you have to just deal with the effort. You have to deal with it. And the more you do it, the better you get, and it depends how much you want it.
You've had a shit ton of good advice over the years. What's the best advice that you've ever received about life?
To be honest, I think one thing that if you could become if you could trust in the fact that delayed gratification is real and the effort that you're putting in will be rewarded in a way that you might not see coming, you will live a much more calmer, healthier, more vibrant life. I think the situation people put themselves in is that they need everything now because they see instant gratification across social media. You see these really cool stories and they want their story to be that Cinderella story. Good things take time. What goes around comes around. And if you can trust in delayed gratification and doing the work, you will have great success and you will live a happy life.
That's beautiful. Last one. Who's your hero?
Oh, who's my hero? That's a good one. You know, I think I've got two. It'd definitely be mum and dad. If I had to say heroes, like I don't know how they like. I look at say someone like Tia and I go, fuck, I don't know how she does it, but I can kind of see how she does it. Whereas my mum and dad, I don't know how they did what they did with 5 kids, doing what they did with all of us. You know, dad was at working, he was a publican, so he was working crazy hours at the pub, like 16, 17 hours a day. And then mum had 5 kids to deal with. Yeah. I can barely handle myself and the dog. It's hectic. Yeah. And mum had 5 kids and she was dropping my brother and I to different sports, Julia and Joe to different sports, and then Jack to a different sport. Like 4 nights a week, 5 nights a week, 5 nights a week, including the football training.
And you think about you had the best childhood, because I have the exact same feeling as well with my mum and dad, that 3 boys, you know, working the same job, you know, not earning that much money, but we all had food. Yep. We all had the best holidays. We had everything that we ever needed.
Yeah. Had new shoes for school and whatnot.
And I'm like, how did you guys?
How did you pull it off?
How did you pull it off?
Yeah, and I don't remember that, like, them freaking out about it. Like, I remember them getting a bit stressed and yelling at us when Josh and I were like causing trouble or annoying the girls. But like, I don't know how they got it done. So yeah, I think when things get tough, I think about the stuff that they would have had to gone through and they made it through and they've done so well. And I think, come on, man. Like, yeah, your problems are still problems and they're still valid, but also let's get with the program.
Yeah, it's so true, because I think about that a lot, even when you're talking about sort of the pressure of and people expecting you to win, and you think, that's pressure. That's almost like a privilege, that type of pressure. Whereas, you know, I think about sort of mum and dad where there would have been times growing up where they were stressing, you know, feeling the pressure of putting food on the table. Yep. For the kids.
All behind the scenes that you never see.
You know, that's real fucking pressure there.
That's real pressure. Yeah. It's either, we're stressing about how well we throw a footy, or how well we make a tackle, or how well we run this next 5K, without worrying about, do we have enough to feed the kids tonight? You know, like that's, I think that'd be number one.
So I've got a little bit of surprise for you. I've got a closing tradition of the podcast where I don't ask the last question.
Cool.
I get family and friends of the guests. They send in questions for you.
Cool.
So.
Excellent. I've never done this before.
Have you?
Nah, this is cool.
So we actually have your beautiful partner, Lauren.
Oh, she wrote something?
Yeah.
Oh, get out. Oh, killer.
She kept the surprise, which was good. So this is for you. What's one feeling you've experienced that you wish everyone could experience at least once in their life? It could be a feeling of winning something that you worked so hard for, being at a once-in-a-lifetime event, reaching a level of fitness you once dreamed of, or maybe it's something that you didn't expect through smaller moments in life, like surfing with your best friend and the freedom you feel, or having a community.
There's one thing, and I'm glad this came to me straight away, because that could have tripped me up. But there's one feeling that everybody should feel before they die, and that is surfing an open face wave. not just like the whitewash, but surfing an open face wave. If you do that once, you'll be mind blown with how cool it feels. I mean, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Like you can snowboard, you can get behind a boat and you can get dragged along, but you catch your own wave, stand up and, you know, carve a wave. You don't have to do anything crazy, but that's a cool feeling.
And what do you put it down to? Because I get the same feeling too when I get the longboard out and we go for a surf.
Yep.
And it's like you're in nature's hands. You're on this wave. You're sort of out of control. You got to like relinquish control and just go
with the flow.
Go with the flow. As cliche as that is, you've got to go with the flow. Everything else you're thinking about goes away, and it's like that sense of peace or freedom or self-expression or whatever it is. I know a lot of people feel more like themselves when they're out in the ocean. They can just be who they really want to be without the expectations or pressures of what they're feeling on land.
I put it down to, yes, all of those things. And I also think when you do that, you know, some people say they go for a run to clear their head. When I go for a run, I think about all of my emails, all of the things I need to do, all the things I want to create, all the good stuff too, not just the things I need to fix, but all the good stuff that I want to create. When you get on a wave and you're on this wave and you are surfing, I do not know one single person who's thinking about an email, a text message, a problem to solve. All they're thinking about is navigating that wave. You are so present. I think that's the feeling. It's presence.
Presence, yeah.
You are feeling, that is utter presence, because there's no one in the world that's thinking about worries when they're surfing an open face wave. And that could be the thing. Maybe that's the feeling that you get. And maybe that's why it feels so good, because we're all so always connected to our phones and socials, and you're easily contactable from anywhere in the world at any particular time, that when you're out surfing and doing that stuff, something that you're so disconnected from everything that we've built around us, that's the feeling.
Great answer. I love that. And on that note, we'll end it. Thank you so much for coming on today, mate. It's been so nice to meet you and chat to you and sort of get to know you on a more personal level. I think I said at the start of the show, I admire you so much, even more so now, about your whole mindset, your whole journey. You're an incredible human being, and you're obviously amazing at what you do. You're with your business, with your coaching. A lot of people look up to you. So
thank you.
I thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I've had such a blast. It's been, honestly, that whatever time we started, that flew by.
It flew by, didn't it? Yeah, for sure.
I had such a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Mind Your Head. If you'd like to support the show, be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcasts. It really supports the show and helps others discover us. Don't forget to join us on Instagram and TikTok at mindyourhead.podcast. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we record this podcast, the Gubbi Gubbi people. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Indigenous peoples. We honour their enduring connection to the land, waters and culture, and recognise their invaluable contributions they make to our communities. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.